This is the Possible Care for Dogs. The podcast begins.
Welcome to a new episode of the Pawsible Care for Dogs podcast.
Great to be here.
In today's episode, we are exploring further English Springer Spaniel Health. Essential best practices for a happy and healthy life. And if you share your life with a Springer, well, you already know how much joy they bring, that loyalty, that energy.
Oh, absolutely. They're fantastic dogs.
So this deep dive is really focused on keeping these incredible bundles of energy happy and healthy for the long haul.
Exactly. They live life at full throttle, don't they?
Yeah.
And our sources today, they really lay out some key proactive steps for owners.
Good.
We're going to dig into some, important areas, starting with maybe those health issues that seem, well, more common in Springers.
Okay, yeah, let's jump right in. Hip dysplasia comes up a lot. We kind of know what it is generally, but the sources, like the OFA health info you mentioned, they give a clearer picture.
They really do. It's not just like a simple yes-no thing. OFA ratings go from excellent down to severe. It's a whole spectrum.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, even a dog rated fair can have a perfectly active life. But it tells you, the owner, okay, maybe be extra careful about keeping weight down. Maybe think about lower impact exercise.
That makes
And
sense.
knowing the parent scores, if you can get that info, that also gives you a heads up on potential risk.
So it's about understanding the individual dog's situation, not just the breed label.
Precisely.
Okay, another one. I'm guessing many Springer owners know this one well. Ear infections. Those lovely long ears.
Ah, yes. Beautiful, but a bit problematic sometimes.
A double-edged sword.
Kinda, yeah. The shape traps moisture, creates this warm, damp place, perfect for bacteria and yeast to just, thrive. So weekly cleaning, it's not just a suggestion, it's really preventative maintenance to break that cycle.
Essential then.
Totally. And you need to watch for signs too. Redness, head shaking, any kind of smell. That means it's time for a vet visit. Don't wait.
Got it. Prevention and keeping a close eye. Okay, moving up. Eyes seem to be another area of concern. Progressive retinal atrophy, PRA, and cataracts.
Yes, those come up frequently. And that study in veterinary ophthalmology, it really highlighted the genetic link for PRA in Springers.
So it's inherited.
Exactly. The study pinpointed specific gene mutations, so it's not random. And the good news is there's genetic testing.
Oh, it's huge.
It is. It can identify dogs with the condition, but also carriers, dogs that won't get it but could pass the gene on.
Crucial for breeders.
And for owners, too, just to be aware. Regular eye exams are still key for catching both PRA and cataracts early, of course.
Makes sense. Okay, there's another one that sounds a bit complicated. Phosphofructokinase deficiency.
Yeah.
PFK.
Yeah, PFK deficiency. It sounds complex, but basically PFK is an enzyme. It's crucial for how muscles get energy.
Like part of the energy-making process.
Exactly. Think of it like a specific tool in the muscle's toolkit. If that tool isn't working right because of this hereditary issue, the muscles just can't generate energy efficiently.
Oh.
So you see that exercise intolerance, they get tired really fast. And it can even cause anemia sometimes. But again, genetic testing, like the AKC mentions, can spot carriers, which is great for breeding choices and helps owners understand maybe why their dog tires easily.
Okay, so those are some key vulnerabilities. Let's shift to something owners have more direct control over, nutrition. What's the basic advice for feeding a Springer?
Well, quality food is number one, especially for such an active breed. That general guideline, maybe 1.5 to 2.5 cups a day. It's really just a starting point.
Right, needs adjusting.
Totally. Depends on their size, their actual energy output, their age. You really need to tailor it. Probably best to chat with your vet to nail down the right amount for your specific dog.
Good point. And beyond just quantity, any specific nutrients that are particularly helpful for Springers?
Yeah, given their activity levels and, the potential for joint issues like hip dysplasia, omega-3s, glucosamine, and chondroitin are often recommended.
For joint support.
Exactly, either in the food itself or maybe as a supplement. The idea is to give those joints the building blocks and anti-inflammatory help they might need.
Okay. And I've heard some Springers can have sensitive stomachs or allergies.
They can, yeah. It's something that comes up. You might notice things like constant scratching or maybe digestive upset, vomiting, diarrhea, that kind of thing. Skin problems, too.
So what do you do then?
Well, your vet might suggest trying a limited ingredient diet first, just to narrow down potential trigger foods. Or maybe a hydrolyzed diet where the proteins are broken down so small the immune system doesn't react. It's often a bit of trial and error.
Right. And linking back to joints and overall health weight control, that study you mentioned sounded pretty clear on that.
Oh, it was stark. That 2022 Frontiers in Veterinary Science study, it wasn't just guessing. It showed a real scientific link between obesity in active breeds like Springers and getting arthritis earlier, plus a shorter lifespan overall.
Wow. So those extra treats really can add up negatively.
They really can. Keeping them lean, it's probably one of the most impactful things you can do for their long-term health, and just keeping them comfortable and mobile.
That's a powerful reminder. Okay, let's talk about something Springers are famous for, that energy. Exercise needs. How much are we really talking?
A lot. The consensus is pretty clear. 60 to 90 minutes of real exercise daily.
And not just a slow walk.
Definitely not. They need chances to properly run, fetch things, maybe swim if they like water, which many do, or even structured things like agility, something vigorous to burn off that steam.
And it's not just physical, is it? They need mental workouts too.
Oh, absolutely critical. A bored Springer is often not a well-behaved Springer. They can get destructive if their brain isn't engaged.
So puzzle toys, training.
Yes. Things like scent work games, they love using their noses. Puzzle feeders make them work for their food, consistent obedience training. It all helps keep their intelligent minds busy and satisfied. They really thrive when they have a job to do.
And training them. Resources like the Spruce Pets say they're eager to please. Does that make it easier?
Generally, yes. That eagerness plus their intelligence means they usually respond really well to positive reinforcement, using treats, praise, toys when they do the right thing.
So start early.
Definitely. Early socialization, basic obedience. It sets such a good foundation for having a happy, well-adjusted dog.
Okay, this seems like a good moment to remind everyone listening.
Yes.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out.
It does indeed. Okay, so we've covered health, nutrition, exercise. What about keeping them looking good? Grooming that Springer coat.
Right, that medium-length coat with the feathering needs attention. Brushing seems key.
Non-negotiable, really. You're looking at probably 3 or 4 times a week. It stops mats forming, especially in those feathery bits on the legs and ears, and gets rid of loose hair and anything they've picked up outside.
And baths. How often?
Generally, maybe every 6 to 8 weeks is fine, unless they find some spectacular mud puddle, of course. Then it's bath time.
Of course.
Just use a decent dog shampoo, one that's right for their skin, and then there's trimming.
Yeah, specific areas.
You want to keep the fur around the ears neat, helps with airflow. Trim the hair between their paw pads, stops them slipping and collecting dirt. And keeping things tidy under the tail and belly helps with hygiene.
Makes sense. And circling back, the ears again.
Always the ears. Weekly cleaning, still super important to prevent those infections. And teeth, don't forget dental care.
Right. Brushing, how often?
Several times a week is ideal. Helps stop tartar, prevents gum disease, which can lead to bigger health problems down the line.
All these little routines add up, don't they?
They really do. It's the consistent care that makes a huge difference to their quality of life. And sort of underpinning everything is regular vet care.
Absolutely. Those preventive checkups, crucial for catching things early. How often for a healthy adult Springer?
Annual visits are the standard recommendation. And those visits should include a really thorough check eyes, hips, general health, plus keeping up with vaccines and, critically, year-round flea, tick, and heartworm prevention.
Can't slack on parasite control.
Nope. Essential.
And thinking back to those specific breed risks we talked about, PFK, PRA, should owners ask about specific screening?
It's definitely worth discussing with your vet, especially if you're thinking of breeding testing for PRA, and PFK is really responsible. But even for pets, just being aware helps you and your vet monitor for any signs.
Okay. So we've covered a lot on the physical side.
Yeah.
What about their personalities? Springers seem so people-oriented.
Oh, hugely. They really thrive on being part of the family. They bond very strongly, and they don't tend to do well if they're left alone for really long stretches.
Potential for separation anxiety, then.
It can definitely be an issue. They need that companionship. They're not really dogs that are happy being isolated in the backyard all day.
Fits with them being so loyal and affectionate. And I hear they're great at dog sports.
Fantastic. Their energy, their smarts, that desire to please. It makes them brilliant at things like agility, fly ball, even dock diving. And that lovely temperament also makes many of them wonderful therapy dogs.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, bringing comfort to people. It suits them.
So if you do have to leave your Springer sometimes, any tips to help avoid that separation anxiety?
Well, first, watch for the early signs like excessive barking, chewing things they shouldn't, having accidents inside only when you're gone.
Okay.
And try to manage it proactively. Make sure they get plenty of exercise before you leave. Give them engaging toys, especially those puzzle feeders, to keep their mind busy while you're out.
Distraction helps.
It can, but if it's really severe, don't hesitate to get professional help from a trainer or a behaviorist who knows about separation anxiety. They can create a specific plan.
Good advice. So, wrapping up, the English Springer Spaniel, affectionate, super smart, playful.
A wonderful companion, truly. And if you're aware of their needs, the health checks, the right food, plenty of exercise for body and mind, the grooming, the vet visits.
And lots of love and company.
Exactly. Then you're setting them up for a long, happy, healthy life, bringing that unique Springer sparkle for many, many years.
We'd genuinely love to hear from you, the listener. Please drop your comments below, share your thoughts, any questions you might have, suggestions, or just your experiences with your own Springer's health.
Yeah, hearing from other owners is always so valuable for everyone in the community.
Have a beautiful day. Take care of your lovely doggies, and we'll see you on the next one.